Let's skip the small talk and jump right in. Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving headfirst into the raw psychological intensity of a wildly viral monologue from the Vozen channel. We live in an era where, let's be real, broadcasting every tiny detail of our day, down to the avocado toast we had for breakfast, is just the norm. It's honestly tough for a lot of us to not post everything online. But the text we are breaking down today, it completely flips that script. It's this radical, fascinating manifesto on total self-reliance and absolute secrecy. So let's take a look at the foundational idea that kicks off this entire worldview. Best thing I ever did was stop telling everyone what's going on in my life. Wow. Okay, just think about the absolute power in that opening statement. It instantly drops us into a mindset of total withdrawal and the complete rejection of oversharing. And notice, the speaker doesn't frame this as some temporary social media detox or a minor lifestyle tweak. No, they call it the best thing they ever did. It's a definitive, life-altering shift. You can practically feel the profound relief, the sheer finality of it. It's like a massive weight just lifting right off their shoulders. But what exactly is hiding behind that curtain of silence?
This brings us to Section 1, the power of silence and strategic containment.
Think about what is actually being cut off from the world here, the struggles, the plans, and yeah, even the wins. Now, if you look at your own habits for a second, human nature practically begs us to seek sympathy when we're struggling, validation when we're plotting our next move, and of course, applause when we win. Sure, keeping our struggles quiet is pretty common. We really don't like to look weak. But holding back our wins, that goes against everything we're wired to do because we desperately crave that applause. By intentionally locking down these three core parts of the human experience, the speaker is literally short-circuiting society's normal feedback loop. They're keeping all of that emotional energy strictly for themselves, rather than just leaking it out into the void.
I owe no one an explanation. Boom. This is the exact moment the speaker basically declares emotional bankruptcy on that unspoken social contract, the one that says we constantly have to keep everybody in the loop. We all feel that invisible pressure, don't we? That nagging debt to justify our choices, to explain why we left a text unread, or why we suddenly changed our minds to friends, family, or followers. Stripping away that obligation is a total paradigm shift. When you stop feeling like you have to constantly audition for an audience, the freedom that results is just palpable.
Let's move on to Section 2, privacy as a fortress and structured defense. There's this brilliant duality to this philosophy. The approach cleanly splits into an offensive tactic and an impenetrable defense. Silence? It's not passive here. It's an active weapon. By giving people absolutely nothing to work with, you force them to guess, you force them to wonder, and ultimately, to project their own insecurities into the giant void you've just created. Meanwhile, privacy is the fortress. It's the immovable, solid structure protecting whatever you're building on the inside. You use silence to disorient the outside world, and you use privacy to build your own. It's honestly an incredibly strategic, almost militaristic way to set personal boundaries. By letting everyone guess and wonder, you effectively block some incredibly exhausting external forces from ever breaching your walls. I mean, think about it. External opinions, fake support, and outside judgments. These are the exact things that usually derail our focus. And the really profound insight here is putting fake support right on the exact same level as actual judgments. It takes some serious self-awareness to realize that insincere praise, people just cheering you on to be part of the spectacle, can be just as toxic and distracting as straight-up criticism. By keeping that fortress of privacy locked tight, you actively starve all those forces of the oxygen they need to survive.
What they don't know, they can't touch and they can't destroy. So invisibility essentially becomes the ultimate armor. You literally cannot sabotage what you cannot see. This hits on a really deep, kind of dark truth about human nature and envy. When you broadcast what you're going to do, you instantly invite interference. Sometimes people mean to mess with you, but honestly, a lot of times it's just the clumsy input of folks who don't even get your vision. By keeping your progress entirely out of sight, those fragile early stages of your personal growth are completely shielded from any kind of disruption.
But okay, having built up this massive psychological wall, we really have to ask what the actual end game is here. If you're not living to explain yourself or get support or impress the people around you, what's driving you? If we just cut all that external validation out completely, what is actually happening inside that fortress? Which pivots us perfectly into Section 3, thriving on your terms and launching a conquest. The progression here is super aggressive. It completely replaces the urge to impress everyone else with a relentless, laser-focused drive for personal victory. Step 1, you win. Step 2, You conquer your goals and limitations. Step 3, you thrive on your own terms. That is the ultimate payoff for all that silence. Think about how liberating it is to actually define what success means when literally no one is watching. Without the noise of the peanut gallery, you are totally free to set your own metrics, completely independent of whatever society expects from you. My journey is mine, and no one has the right to interfere walking side by side. Wow, this striking final declaration is the absolute climax of the monologue. It completely rejects any uninvited companions or outside meddling. It's such a bold, uncompromising claim to personal autonomy. And we've kind of got to unpack that side-by-side metaphor, because it really shows just how extreme this worldview is. Even well-meaning companions, they're viewed as potential liabilities here. The whole idea is that someone just walking next to you might mess up your pace or cloud your focus. The journey is meant to be solitary by design, making absolutely sure that the victories belong to one person and one person only. So as we wrap up this explainer, I want you to really look in the mirror and ponder the intense power dynamics of privacy and self-reliance we've just been talking about. Look at your own life right now. Does true success really require complete isolation from the judgments of others? Can we actually hit our absolute highest potential while still managing the noise of the crowd? Or is the fortress of silence literally the only real way to win on our own terms? Keep questioning the noise around you.